if he keeps making content, I keep making lots of content. If you want to keep making content, we can do it. If we're going to continue to roll around in the mud, I love rolling around in the mud. Okay. The last week, been a lot of stuff going on, okay? We've been fighting in the trenches. There's been a lot of stuff that has been happening and everything else, okay? I would like to reiterate, I'm pretty sure nobody involved here is an actual pedophile, child molester, anything like that, okay? I feel like my point spoke strongly enough the way that I intended them. I think enough people have understood what I'm trying to say. Obviously, there was some more meme stuff that was kind of dug up yesterday that people are running through. I'm going to reiterate something I said. I think I said this at the beginning of my thing. I don't like doing this content, okay? As much as I used to, all right? It's a little bit fun to indulge every now and then, I'll be honest, okay? But this is not what I want to do. This is not my current forte. I think that I have other stuff that I enjoy doing a lot more now. I don't particularly like doing the whole back and forth nuke after nuke after nuke bullshit. It's just not, this is not the kind of content I want to do. I've been sucked back into it, okay? Because they killed my dog, all right? I'm sure that Ethan and the crew are probably getting a lot of attention, negative, whatever. My community is not supposed to brigade or harass. I think I told all my mods, okay, we're done Ethan posting, we're done H3 posting. I'm not looking to pile on for the next week or 2 weeks. If you understand how the waves of the internet shit work, obviously we had our stuff yesterday, and there's probably going to be the ripples from, I'm sure, Hassan and others today if they haven't already, or people around him, and then the commentary people will pick it up and they'll do all that shit. Yeah. So I'm good where I'm at. I don't care. I don't mind if people make measured criticisms of me. If somebody wants to say I'm a coomer, or if somebody wants to say I can be whatever, I don't care. But if you're going to go hard into the paint and say I'm some creepy predator pedophile who has a history of doing all this shit, and you're going to continue to lay on that point, then I'm going to obviously lay out my points as well then. If that's what we're going to do, we can do that. I don't mind it. I think I can still do it. I feel like we've shown that we can still do it. I just am not interested in that per se. But okay, so did you offer him a ceasefire? No, because I don't have any direct communication with him at all. I don't communicate with him directly. We don't communicate directly. I just see him shoot Instagram stories at me, and then I launch tweets at him. But I'm just saying, I'm done talking about it. My communities are going to be done posting about it. Yeah, that's it. This includes the WillyMac stuff. For the rest of the commentary people, I don't give a fuck about them. I don't care. If you guys want to shit on them, go for it. I don't care. In my mind, I think one of the most upsetting things about everything that happened, there's two really upsetting things. One is that it gave two huge communities this whole kind of weird lefty apparatus, and then all of the snarkers / anti-fans / Kiwi farmers, this was their gold mine of attention and shit. And while I'm sure there are some H3 snarkers or leftovers people, I'm sure there are a whole bunch of people who are probably happier with me or enjoy me more than not right now because of everything that happened. I don't like those types of people. I don't want to foster those types of people as an audience. I don't want my audience to know those types of people, so I don't give a fuck about those people, okay? I don't want that audience. I don't care about them. I don't care if they like that I did this or whatever. I also don't, I would imagine that Ethan probably doesn't want to engender too much Kiwi Farm support, because that also leads to a bunch of weird, horrible, stupid stuff happening. So yeah, so that, it sucks that the weird lefty communities and then the snarker communities all have their stuff. They all have their day in the sun, which is annoying. It's also annoying because I think that me and Ethan's content is pretty different in terms of what H3 does. I think that their audience, I've said this before, their audience is heavily women. I think it's actually 60-40 woman versus man versus woman. I thought it was 40-60. I think it's 60-40. And I think my style of content and everything else is it leans much more masculine or whatever debate, but whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I understand there's not necessarily an organic crossover there, but I think we were the only two left-leaning places on the internet that was still not hardcore fucking anti-Semitic, burn all the Jews in hell, every single Jewish person, which every other fucking left-leaning community has gone that direction of. So I think it's like a little bit sad if our communities are literally trying to destroy each other's, which my community is not going to be destroyed. So I just think that's like really, it's a bad fight. I think it's a stupid community fight to have. I think that I think I've said this before, even before today. I think Ethan and I were two of the only people to make the jump from being very edgy in the 2010s to being like pretty progressive-y and wokey in the 2020s without being soy as fuck. Like, a lot of people failed that jump. They either quit content creation or they are still edgy and they turned into lolcows, so your Keemstars and your boogies and all that, or they became woke, but they also lost their comedic edge, right? So like Ian is a really great example of that, who became super fucking soyed out and is no longer funny or entertaining to watch, even though he became ultra woke progressive. So yeah, I just feel like it's so stupid. I just feel like that conflict between me and Ethan, especially over something as stupid as like, are we pedophiles? Like, there must be something better to fight on. I'm not saying nobody can criticize me. If you didn't think I give a dumb take on something or do something stupid or whatever, I think that's totally fine. I've called out Ethan for doing stupid things. I think ironically, I guess, or not unironically, I guess, most of his like call outs when he's trying to get people like fresh and fit or even the Noah Sampson thing. I think the pro Jared thing, he tends to miss the mark on that sometimes. And I'll call him out when he does dumb stuff like that, okay? But the ultra unhinged, like, this person is a murderer, pedophile, predator, like, I just don't, unless you want to go like full fucking snark coded, I just don't see the purpose for that. But what happens if he makes 3 more videos about you with the worst case? Oh, if he keeps making content on me, I keep making lots of content. If you want to keep making content, we can do it. I mean, who's your audience at this point? Like, who are you making the content for? Like, if we want to become snark Kiwi Farm streamers, we can do that. Like I said, I don't mind. If you want, we can do it. I just feel like it's not... I feel like it's not a productive use of either of our times. But, yeah. Can you please give a recap of how this even started? I feel like you got mad at you for implying Hassan should die and then suddenly decided to nuke you. Is that accurate? A quick recap is basically... Hassan said some unhinged crazy shit like 2 weeks ago. And then I was typing in chat that basically, like, if this is the standard that we're saying to people, like, you can justify. And then I think that Hassan, who is petrified of literally any criticism whatsoever relating to his conduct or his political positions, he sees my message and he tries to make me an out where he just cries about how mean I am. Personally, I don't think almost anybody bit on that. Hassan kept trying to force it and cry about it. But then for some reason, Ethan and Hila jumped on and they're like, oh no, like we almost had Hassan and now he has an out. It's like, first of all, you don't almost have Hassan. Hassan has been saying unhinged crazy shit for 2 years. None of this is going to be the thing that takes him down. And then 2, why would anything I say even matter? The only reason why it could matter for you guys is if you make it matter. Just don't. Even if you disagree with what I said, then just say that, you know? Destiny said shit, I don't know, we don't agree with that necessarily, but who cares? This has nothing to do with what you said. We don't communicate. Listen, the thing that frustrates me the most on this is that people are making all these assumptions that I'm like puppet mastering Ethan or that I control Ethan or that we have these conversations behind closed doors. And then I feel like Ethan acts like we have these conversations behind closed doors with the way that he acts. Because, yeah, because when he tries to do these things saying like, no, I swear I'm not controlled by Destiny. No, I swear he's not puppet mastering me. It's like, oh, that message, that was a really bad time to send that message. Sorry. I think it's not like I was doing it. Sorry. Yeah, no, when he is so like, when he's so excited to like, oh no, look, I can prove Destiny's not controlling me. He's like, well, bro, you're literally making it seem like I'm controlling you by showing how desperate you are to show people I'm not controlling you. Like if Ethan and I were actually in communication behind the scenes, then I would understand a little bit more. It's like, okay, bro, I understand. You got to throw me under the bus for this one so that people don't think we're working together. Fine, let's go, bro. But it's like, we don't talk at all. I'm going to be honest, okay? I think I might have already said this on stream. I even feel embarrassed because I have tried to message Ethan, I think 2 or 3 times in the past, but it was to his Twitter account. And somebody said something in chat about him not using Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah, shit. And then I realized, and I looked at those messages, these are like over a year ago. I'm like, oh, I'm literally just shooting these DMs up into the fucking void. Okay, like a fucking loser. So no, yeah. I don't know. It's dumb. I think there's better people to go after. I think there's better issues to focus on. I think there's better people to attack. I think there's better stuff to talk about. If shit comes out in the future after my court case is over, or after, the WillyMac shows up with, with all his federal buddies, hey, cover it then and talk about it then. But until then, yeah, especially the whole like digging through like past clips and stuff is just, I think it's super wacky. Could it be possible that Ethan got lured/tricked into this by his team or other people? I do think, unfortunately, there's a lot of pressure on Ethan by his crew, because his crew, based on what I've seen, I don't watch H3 a lot, and I don't mean that as a burn. I don't watch any content. Anybody that has watched my stream for any period of time knows I don't watch any content. I just don't have time or the inclination to do. I just don't. But it seems like most of his crew are like Hassan Simps. I know that AB Star Killer guy, I think is, right? He's the same guy. And there's a few others who are they were whatever. I don't know if they're just lefty pro-pallies in general, or if they're big Hassan Simps. So like whenever Ethan's talking about Hassan, they just like nervously sit there, not saying anything. But then when they're talking about me, they're giddy with joy. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't care. I actually don't care. I don't give a fuck what the reason is. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what the rationalization is. But yeah. Any chance to talk with Ethan live, or you just don't care? I have no idea. I don't think Ethan wants to meet me ever live, because it's like a moment of like, I think Ethan is genuinely really petrified of not being able to shake the Destiny puppet allegations. Like if he wants to, sure, but I don't even know what we would talk about at this point. But I mean, I would always go on H3H3, obviously, whether they're talking about Israel-Palestine or current events or whatever other meme shit. Yeah, I would always do that. But to debate like past clips and shit, no, God, it's stupid. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I'm only saying this. I'm only saying this in response. I'm only responding to Ethan. I only ever respond. I'm only responding. Okay. He complains about his hacked email info while laughing about your hacked messages gleefully. Yeah, like you can't realistically put out an Instagram story complaining that I won't say the name on stream, but complaining that your old Reddit account got found and complain that it was through hacked info while you were literally gleefully reading through like leaked revenge porn fucking sex of mine to your entire audience. That is unhinged. It is crazy disgusting. It is crazy unhinged. You've like ceded any moral high ground there. Yeah. But that's all I got. Destiny, bro, you need to be way less chill. You let people get away with way too much. Maybe. I mean, like I said, I don't think I've made any new streamer friends over the past year or two. I don't make new friends or streamers or YouTubers, because I think everybody here is horrible, so. Is the whole purpose of your Twitter posts about the account so that Hassan and friends would go after Ethan with it, so you can go back to streaming while they fight? No, well, the point was he was still continuing to tweet and call me a pedophile. So if we're going to continue to roll around in the mud, I love rolling around in the mud. That's what I've done for the past, like from 2010 to 2023. We can do that, but I would obviously not want to, because I don't. Yeah. I don't care about this as much. Do you want to harsh the WillyMac? Harsh the WillyMac? He's going to change the conversion to those messages. Flame 11. What the fuck? Willy, I don't know how public these videos are, or if they've spread it all, but like the only reason Willy made that video is because Nicholas Diorio told him to. So I hold Willy just as responsible, though. I didn't notice. I was going back and I was just rereading through our messages or whatever, thinking like what else I wanted to have online. And I realized that at the beginning of that conversation, like Willy is literally saying, he literally says, and he even has in his YouTube video, although it's like half a second, it's like 5 frames, where he's like, oh, hey, like I'm just want more information about this. This is all off the record. I'm not making a video on this, of course. And it's like, oh, so I'm like I'm just like half me being through some of this conversation. Like, oh, yeah, depends on why you're at. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So his, he zooms by it really fast, but this, I'm not going to make a vid on any of this because right now there isn't proof that you knew or are suspicious, but if that exists, that's really bad. Like you said, super red flag. Like, yeah, the idea that he's going to be publishing this conversation and now I have to like line by line shit that I'm just like fucking spitballing to, this is fucking ridiculous. Listen, if I wasn't in a current, again, remember, this person's asking for $15 million, the Pixie person for this lawsuit. I'm good on that one, okay? I'm not going to be fighting this in the court of the public opinion and in the court of the Southern District of Florida at the same time. So, but yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, the idea that, like, I mean, it's his career, it's his shit. The fact that somebody could talk him into making a video on off-the-record information and shit, I feel like it's kind of crazy unhinged, but hey, you know what? That's life. Who cares? Wait, Willy lied with his comments? You said it was off the record? Yeah. I didn't notice until I went back and a friend pointed it out to me and I was like, oh, nice. Oh, listen, I've said as much as I can. Ethan's the lawsuit guy. Like I said before, you can go read my court filings. Almost every single thing I talk about on stream ends up thrown in some court filing. The ability for me to maneuver in an environment where people are spamming the FBI on me, okay, and then where I have a civil litigant against me who is the most litigious, insane person of the world. The idea that I'm supposed to just divulge more and more and more and more and more information to not even deal with, it's not like there's even, like if there was some victim that had come forward, it was saying like, oh, this person abused me, blah, it's like, okay, maybe I do to make sense. But it's not even that, right? It's just people digging through shit and like, oh, I think that this happened and blah, and this happened and we need it. And it's like, you no, that's fucking stupid. If he doesn't like my answer for that, Mr. Lawsuit guy, I don't know. Like I said, he can be my first interview after my lawsuit finishes if he wants to chat. Oh, this guy. Wait, so Ethan's old Reddit account was found right after beefing with Destiny? How crazy. He's had beef with Snark for years, but immediately after beefing with Destiny, his old Reddit account was found using the same method that was used to hack mine. I don't know who hacked mine for sure, but don't play stupid when I say I think it was someone from the DDG community. This isn't me defending Snark, by the way. Snark as well, smiley face. So the only reason why people knew, AB, that you were posting on that subreddit, because that was your account, right, which you admitted after people forced it out of you, but then you said, well, it was because it was hacked, is because you are also friendly to Snarkers. You said it over and over again. You had them all over your stream chat, and you literally said, I don't remember if it was on an H3 show or what, but you were like, oh, I think most of Snark is actually okay, except for like one unhinged person. You are actually a piece of shit. And also, fuck the H3 community for doing this weird cringe shit they do where they're like, oh no, like you can't criticize the crew or whatever the fuck else. That's fucking bullshit. This AB dude is like fucking Ethan shit up a lot. And a lot of the crew fucked Ethan really hard on this show. Like, put the fries in the, put the manifesto in the bag, okay? You guys are the ones doing the research on all the hit pieces on me. You are the ones that literally hung Ethan out there to dry on the slightest bullshit ever that you could dig up on Kiwi Farms threads. You guys couldn't even watch the original videos that you handed this dude to roast me. Also, you could sit there and giggle that some pro-genocide Israeli supporter, predator, whatever you think I am, could go down. So, no, you guys. These guys deserve a lot of fucking criticism for that, okay? Yeah, that's all I'll say. You guys are really lucky to have the jobs you have. You guys are really lucky you still have the jobs you have. That should reflect more, I think, in your candor, I would say. Oh, he deleted that tweet also. Good job. Good one. Did we ever make up a name for this? Did we make up a name for this way of debating? I'm tired. It's where somebody's like super hype and super excited to get into shit. And then as soon as it starts going bad, they're like, I don't know if I want to argue this right now, actually. Well, I don't know. Actually, I think that I'm not in the mood. This has gotten cringe now. Okay. Politics.